Hey, welcome to World Entertainment. You've probably seen a few videos on this saying Kate Mulgrew attacks the fans, that she hates the fans and all this stuff. We're going to dive into this because what happened? Well, she is firing back at somebody who said they want Captain Janeway to bitch slap Captain Ake in Starfleet Academy. She's responded to that. I don't think she's actually responded in the sense of she's attacking fans. She's calling out this one guy apparently because I think she's seeing it as the guy wants Kate Mulgrew to bitch slap Holly Hunter as opposed to Captain Janeway bitch slapping Captain Ake. You'll see what I mean. All the same, it's not really an attack on the fans as such. It does seem to be pushback towards criticism of the character of Ake. And quite frankly, the criticism of the character is 100,000% justified. It truly is. So I get that you're trying to defend an actress, probably someone you probably know. It seems like you have met a few times. But at the same time, you have to actually look from... Yeah, you were part of Star Trek, but you have to look from the fans' point of view of what we're used to, what we expect from characters in command, and what this character is like. But let's dive into this, and then we'll kind of break it down. So, it's saying here, Holly Hunter's performance as Captain Nala Ake has divided the Star Trek fanbase. Her unconventional habits, such as her barefoot command and relaxed demeanour in the captain's chair, have fueled intense online discussion that sometimes crosses into crude criticism, unfortunately. Not everyone is a fan of the new Casual Friday vibe on the bridge, and one viewer took to Facebook to vent in a post highlighting the latest episode of Starfleet Academy, Episode 6, Come Let's Away. What a fucking stupid name. The Facebook user called on Captain Janeway to time travel so she can bitch slap Captain Mumbles where she spots her lounging in the captain's chair like she's getting ready to watch the Hallmark Channel instead of commanding a starship. Quite frankly, from my point of view, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that comment. And it is one of those kind of, yeah, I agree with that comment. Like, this is not a captain. A captain should not be enforcing command by lounging around on a chair barefooted on the bridge like it's a casual Wednesday. It truly isn't. So, catching wind of the comment, Kate Mulgrew, who played Captain Janeway on Star Trek Voyager, immediately came to the defense of Holly Hunter's Captain Nala Ake and fired back at the online troll. So, this is what she wrote in response to this, saying, "On the contrary, sending you and every other disrespectful troglodyte who insults my fellow captain and Starfleet officer to the brig where you belong. Keep Janeway's good name out of it. Dismissed." So you're seeing there where she's kind of the part that I think people is like she hates the fans is the every other disrespectful troglodyte. I think that's where people are going. She hates the fans because anyone who's criticizing this character. The criticism is just. It truly is. Is it a full attack on the fan base? I don't think so. It doesn't come off all that great, but I don't think, because otherwise she could have gone very, very far into saying like, you know, yous are this, yous are all, you know, the usual neckbeard, basement dweller, mouth breathers, all that kind of crap, and she didn't. In fact, she kind of kept it almost in line with like being a Star Trek reference, but the fact that you deserve to be in the brig, as opposed to how dare you be on the internet and, you know, get a life and stuff like that. She kept it like, you should be in the brig. Dismissed. You know what I mean? There's almost a playfulness to it. Almost. I still disagree with her comment, you know. I think, again, it's just to be able to criticize a character like Nala Ake. Because, yeah, this character does sit around mumbling, which that's an issue with Holly Hunter, you know. Apparently she's had some accident when she was a child, and that's what's wrong with her voice. Which is also strange because, like, movies she originally was in, you could understand her perfectly. It was only since around 2016, 2017 that her voice seemed to get this kind of hard to understand. She's easier to understand. Like, I can understand her in BVS. I can't understand the bloody word she's saying in this show. And whether that might be down to a character choice, I think she could be putting on some of that voice. Because, again, I can never remember the actress's name. She played the Ghost of Christmas Present in Scrooged. She was also in Jumpin' Jack Flash and stuff. She plays the same type of character. One of these, what are they called? Lantern Knights or something? One of these immortal species, basically, in Strange New Worlds. And she puts on a bit of a voice, and I can't understand a goddamn word she says in that show either. Seriously, I've heard that actress speak in all of her roles, and I can always understand what she says, except Strange New Worlds. I don't know whether she's actually putting on a bit of a voice, but she's impossible to understand. And Holly Hunter is the exact same. She is impossible to understand in this show. So what this article continues saying is, Captain Janeway is not only a fan favorite captain, but also a groundbreaking character as the franchise's first female lead. While some viewers have criticized her decisions in the captain's chair, there's no denying her strong leadership and moral convention. Her approach to command, however, feels markedly different from Holly Hunter's Captain Nala Ake. Where Janeway led through discipline and tradition, Ake challenges expectations, redefining what authority looks like in a new era of Starfleet. Yeah, but not in a good way. She's like jumping around like she's everybody's best bloody friend. That's the issue as well. Like, she's walking into rooms for meetings and just slouches down immediately on a couch. It's like, why are you doing that in this type of circumstance? When she's been told, you know, we've diplomats coming. We need actually to show professionalism. We need to convince these people to rejoin the Federation. And you're not wearing shoes. And she's like, I like letting my little piggies free and stuff. It's like, what are you going on about? And this is where this comes from. So it's saying, as for why Captain Ake prefers to walk around barefoot, Holly Hunter previously explained that was a decision made by co-showrunner Alex Kurtzman. So confirmed, Kurtzman has a foot fetish by the sounds of it. So she said this, Alex had written that my character was barefoot and I loved that. That kind of opened up this whole idea of what she might be like physically for me. Adding a bit more context, Hunter explained to Reactor Mag in a separate interview, it had to do with her being part Lanthanite, and it also had to do with my name, which is Water in the Desert. Pretty sure it's Nala Ake or your actual name, Holly Hunter, so don't know what that's about. So she said, wherever I am, whatever environment that I'm in, I'm going to explore with my body. It gave every scene, many scenes, a whole different vibe, a different texture, and it put me in a different place. Now, this is what we were talking about a while ago, and she has confirmed it. The idea of her just slouching in chairs, jumping around, lying down all the time, all that type of crap, that was Holly Hunter. And apparently the production could not get her to stop doing that. That they actually said, like, no, we need you to kind of, sit in the chair properly. And she was just like, And the idea, apparently, she doesn't say it here, well, she kind of hints at it being part Lanthanite, is the fact that she's meant to be so old that she's basically set in every position, and it's like nothing kind of satisfies her anymore, so she just lounges and slouches and all of that crap. The problem with that is, and again, the fact that the production apparently couldn't get her to stop, is a pure lack of leadership by the production and Alex Kurtzman, because you should be going in there and putting your foot down and going, look, we get what you're trying to do, but look, we can't have you doing that. You're a Starfleet captain. You're the Chancellor of Starfleet. You need to show some authority, and you lounging in the chair like a cat isn't showing authority. The idea of the no shoes thing, that's stupid. And as you'll see, there is a reference to that coming up in the next episode, which I actually think is a little bit funny because it kind of does call it out. But it's just this thing of show some decorum, show some respect, show some actual leadership and authority. Slouching around with no shoes on isn't that. The fact that Kate Mulgrew is pushing back to someone who says, like, I want Captain Janeway to come back and bitch slap. I think the part that she's taken kind of offense to is the bitch slap and calling her Captain Mumbles. Again, I think the statement is justified. Yes, she does mumble. Whether that's actually the actress's choice. Because again, in episode 4, I think it was, she puts on a voice when she's with the War College guy and the Doctor and Tig Notaro, and she's meant to be impersonating the diplomat that's on its way for this guy to talk to. And she puts on a voice that's meant to be the diplomat. And you can understand her. Which means half of this voice that we can't understand when she's talking must be her actually putting it on slightly. Because again, the actress who plays the other Lanthonite in Strange New Worlds, you can't understand what the hell she's saying either, because she's putting that voice on. So, do I think it's an attack on the fan base? No, not really. Again, the calling people troglodytes is more so kind of her part of the attack. But then she kind of leans into the Star Trek end of it by saying, you should be in the brig and you're dismissed. So, yeah, look, you kind of have to make up your own mind. Do you think it's an attack on the fans? Personally, I don't think it's an attack on the fans. I think she's kind of viewing more of the criticisms, and she's probably looking at it from the point of view, well, are they real Star Trek fans? Yes, they are, but at the same time, it's nowhere near as bad as the likes of what Pedro Pascal comes out and says, or Mark Ruffalo's, or idiots like that. So I think you just kind of have to make up your own mind. Do you think it is a full-on attack on the fans, or do you think she is kind of just defending a person she knows? I think you're just going to have to make up your own mind. But what do you think of the comments? And do you think what the guy said was justified? Personally, I do. Do you think what Kate Mulgrew responded with was justified? I think... I don't think it's justified, but I don't think she's not in her right to say it. But let me know what you guys think. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.